Brandon is under arrest for first-degree murder.
What?
Yes. Brandon is responsible for the abduction and murder of Mickey Shunick.
What?
Our story begins in Lafayette, Louisiana, a city renowned for its cuisine, history, and music. On May 19, 2012, the Shunick family had an important event to attend. It was graduation day for one of the kids. The family was getting ready and would soon be leaving. However, one member of the family, Michaela Shunick, or Mickey, was not responding to her mother's calls for her to get dressed and ready for her brother's graduation. Finally, after being ignored long enough, Mom, Nancy, entered her daughter's bedroom and found it empty. She was terrified as Mickey said she would be home the night before. Nancy said if Mickey told you she was going to be somewhere, she would be there. Less panicked but more annoyed by the situation, Mickey's sister Charlie sent text messages and made multiple phone calls to her. The text went unanswered and the calls went straight to voicemail. Something wasn't right. The responsible 21-year-old University of Louisiana anthropology student was nowhere to be found. Charlie described Mickey as bright, bubbly, and sassy. She said people often misconstrued them as twins. Nancy said that Mickey went to school, worked, and went out with friends. After the graduation, the family headed straight home, hoping Mickey would be there. To their dismay, she was not at home. The Shunick family began frantically calling her friends, trying to establish a timeline of Mickey's movements from the night before. A friend of Mickey's told the family that Mickey had been over at Bretley's house. Charlie immediately reached out to Bretley. He informed her that he and Mickey had gone to a bar, then picked up some food before going back to his place. Bretley said that Mickey headed home on her bike at around 1:40 a.m. The route is 4.5 miles and should have taken Mickey roughly 25 minutes. With no additional information coming from Mickey's friends, the family contacted the Lafayette Police Department. As police began their investigation, family and friends searched the local area and the route Bretley said Mickey usually took. Police entered Michaela Mickey Shunick into the National Crime Information Center database as a missing person, while family and friends distributed flyers throughout the surrounding areas. Police brought Bretley in for questioning. He reiterated his story, providing additional details such as the times and exact locations of each place he and Mickey had visited. Detective Baja was suspicious of Bretley because it was a male-female friendship. He wanted to ensure that there wasn't any romance between them and that it wasn't a domestic issue or a rejected advance. The detective recalled that Bretley seemed nervous. Bretley allowed technicians to search his home, and ultimately, nothing appeared out of place. It's now 36 hours after Mickey Shunick disappeared. Nancy said that she was incoherent and didn't know what day it was. She said she was in another world. Charlie said the worst part was not knowing what happened. She said you're left imagining horrible things. Investigators arrived at Atmosphere, the local bar and restaurant Bretley said they had gone to. Detectives noted the multitude of cameras throughout the establishment and inquired about the footage from the night Mickey disappeared. Management provided them with the footage. Investigators spotted Bretley and Mickey on camera at the bar. Everything seemed normal, and after 2.5 hours, the two left. Detective Baja said that no one appeared to have been following them from the bar. Investigators' next stop was Taco Bell, the fast food restaurant where Bretley and Mickey reportedly went after leaving the bar. The manager provided the police with the footage of the purchase. They spotted Bretley's Chevrolet Cavalier in the drive-thru. It's clear to detectives that Bretley is the driver. However, they don't see Mickey in the passenger seat as he claimed. Bretley purchased the food using Mickey's debit card, so it's crucial to determine if she was with him at the time. They scrutinized the footage further and spotted Bretley handing food to someone in the passenger seat. Due to the angle of the camera, they were unable to determine whether the passenger was Mickey. To verify that Mickey left Bretley's residence as he stated, detectives searched for cameras along her route home. The route Bretley provided was primarily residential. They were unable to recover any footage of Mickey. Detective Baja said Bretley could be lying, either in the sense that she never left his house or in the path she took. It's now 2 days after Mickey disappeared. The police widened their search area for surveillance. After reviewing hundreds of hours of footage, detectives believed they may have found something on a local bank's cameras. The bank had 4 cameras monitoring the exterior of the building. On an infrared camera, investigators spotted an individual riding a bike in the direction of Mickey's house. The time frame lined up with Bretley's story of Mickey leaving his house at around 1:40 a.m. They switched to the camera facing west, and the person is spotted once more. The east camera captured another detail: blonde hair. Detectives believed they had found their missing girl. To be sure, investigators brought Mickey's father, Tom Shunick, and Charlie in to view the videos. Charlie said she was certain that was her sister. She could tell by her mannerisms. This glimmer of hope ruled out Bretley as a suspect. The investigation was now focused entirely on finding more cameras that had captured Mickey. Using the bank as a starting point, detectives plotted Mickey's likely route home. She would have passed the Lafayette City Hall, so investigators reviewed the surveillance footage. They spotted Mickey traveling down St. Landry Street and out of view. The footage confirmed to detectives that she was headed straight home. A quarter mile from City Hall was a local attorney's office that had a camera facing the road. The video showed Mickey continuing in the direction of her home. The next camera on the route is a further quarter mile away at an event center. Investigators queued up the footage to the time Mickey would be riding through the frame. They waited, but Mickey never appeared. Detective Baja said that whatever happened to Mickey occurred in that quarter-mile area of St. Landry Street. Police and volunteers conducted an extensive search of the area, but it was fruitless. Investigators once again reviewed the surveillance video. There were only 3 vehicles seen in the area as the road was a side street and it was 2 in the morning. Police provided images of the vehicles of interest to the media. In the following days, the owners of 2 of the vehicles were identified and determined not to have been involved in the incident. The only vehicle remaining was a white Chevrolet pickup seen passing Mickey. Charlie said the white truck became the infamous symbol of the whole case. Detective Baja said the family did a great job keeping the story on the front page. Tom Shunick said the support they received helped them continue their efforts.
We try to stay together out in public and then go home and fall apart.
Nancy said you have to make a conscious effort not to just curl up in a ball and quit. Charlie said she thought a drunk driver had hit Mickey and was holding her.
If you made a mistake and you accidentally picked her up or something, and you're just scared, I mean, it's okay. We won't say anything. Just call the tip line and drop her off anywhere and we'll find her. And please don't hurt her.
Police continued to search for additional surveillance footage of the mystery truck. They located a new video of the white pickup approaching the intersection where the City Hall camera captured Mickey. The truck was on a 4-lane road and was in the inside lane, indicating that the driver intended to proceed straight through the intersection. However, on the City Hall camera, as the vehicle approached the intersection and Mickey, the pickup switched to the outside lane and turned onto St. Landry Street behind Mickey. Detective Baja believed that the truck driver saw Mickey and attempted to follow her. In the final video footage of Mickey, the truck was ahead of her. Scrutinizing the clip further showed the driver applied the brakes, allowing Mickey to catch up. Both the truck and Mickey disappeared out of frame. The following 2 minutes of footage showed no other vehicles or persons. On May 26th, 1 week after Mickey disappeared, 2 fishermen located a submerged bicycle under the Whiskey Bay I-10 bridge. The bike had damage to the rear tire consistent with a collision with a vehicle. Crime scene technicians determined that the damage was approximately at the height of a factory bumper on a Chevy pickup truck. Detective Baja called in Charlie and Tom to the police station. He told them that they believed they had found Mickey's bike. Charlie said that upon seeing the bike, she nearly passed out. She said it was definitely Mickey's bike. The family kept their hopes up, but investigators believed that this was unlikely to end with a positive outcome. Police conducted an extensive search of the Whiskey Bay area. However, they recovered nothing of value. On May 31st, investigators received a tip from Adam DeVille, who stated that he was concerned that his sister-in-law's boyfriend was involved in the incident.
Today's date is Monday, June 18th, 2012. The time is 13:10 hours. Subject being interviewed is witness Adam Andrew DeVille. We're investigating a case, the Mickey Shunick disappearance, and you had a little bit of information about a guy named Brandon Laverne.
Yes.
Can you kind of tell us what you know about him? Let's start from the beginning.
Brandon is dating my wife's sister. She went through a divorce and met this guy online on christianmingles.net or .com, whatever it may be. They seemed to hit it off well. You know, he seemed like a nice guy. He, didn't really have any flaws. He was kind of, too perfect, and we always thought something was weird with him. But we let it go. Fast forward 6-7 months, and he came back from New Orleans with quite a few bandages all over his body, and he had the story that he was stabbed 7 times in New Orleans. The story was that he went to a gas station, and this guy came up behind him, was asking for money, and they got into an altercation. He ended up getting stabbed by this guy 7 times, pushed him off, and got in his truck. He said he got blood all over his truck, and he managed to drive to a friend's house. Well, the friend drove him straight to the hospital. The story from there, from what he told us, was, the cops, I guess the hospital called the cops, a standard procedure. Cops came and, asked him some questions, and he kind of felt that they started turning the story more towards him than trying to find out what happened. They asked him where he was, and he said, he didn't remember. He blacked out. He couldn't remember what gas station it was. And they asked him why he didn't call the cops, and he said, I just wasn't thinking, and I guess that's all he told us. And so we started searching around, and come to find out, we found out that he was a Tier 3 sex offender and did 8 years in prison, got out on parole, and that was a big red flag for us. We had kind of like a little family meeting without Barbara and her kids and Brandon, and they called Barbara over and confronted her, and she said that she knew from day one. He was a changed man. He told her that he was wrongfully convicted and he was innocent. I'd say about a week after that, when I saw on the news the picture of the truck, and I'd known about the truck, and my father-in-law had joked, "Man, Brandon drives that same truck." That's kind of crazy.
Right.
Well, it wasn't until that I saw on the news that the bike was found underneath Whiskey Bay. We figured it out that it was the 19th during the day in New Orleans that he was stabbed. That Saturday night, we know for a fact that nobody saw him or was with him or could vouch for his whereabouts, and I started getting really fishy. If you put the timelines together of Mickey Shunick and Brandon, they seem to go hand in hand. And then Miss Michaela is my mother-in-law. She had told him, he threw his bloody shirt back in the back of our dumpster, which is weird because he never goes over there. After that, we both called the tip line. Well, I called you.
Right.
He called the tip line. We've kind of both been at the same time unaware that the other one was calling in. So I saw him the Monday.
Okay.
They had my nephew had a graduation from pre-K, and he was there. So, and he was very weird.
Okay.
He didn't talk, and that's not like him. He's very talkative. So something was obviously on his mind. I don't know if he was just shaken up from the stabbing or something else. About another couple days go by, and we find out, he calls me and he said, "Hey, you ever heard of Don's Wholesale?" I said, "No, why?" He said, "Brandon's got plastic on his license plate and in his window, temp tags, like you would buy a brand new truck." So I ended up calling Don's Wholesale just to kind of look more into it. I called Don's Wholesale and I said, "Hey man, I got a friend of mine that I think may have traded his truck in there, and I've always liked the truck. I might want to buy it. Do y'all have it there? It's a white D71 4x4 or a four-door." And then he said, "Okay, we have 3 locations. This is the home base. Let me call all my other locations because I know we don't have it here." I get a call about 15 minutes later from a guy, I don't remember his name. He said, "Man, this is so-and-so with Don's Wholesale. Man, I just got off the phone with Brandon. He doesn't know an Adam, and we don't have his truck."
Okay.
And I'm thinking, okay, so A, you know him somehow. B, he's got your temp tag in your window. And
Right.
now you just tipped him off that we're starting to question about him. So I called my father-in-law. I was like, "Dude, they don't have the truck, but he does know Brandon," because obviously he called him.
Right.
And there's a temp tag in his window. And that's pretty much where we are here today. So you can kind of see how the timelines kind of flow together. All these coincidences are just, it's one red flag after another, and that's where we are. I know his relationship with his family, there is none. His ex-wife and daughter, he's not even allowed to come within like certain miles away from his daughter, and his sister wants nothing to do with him. His mom and dad want nothing to do with him.
Did he tell you what time he was robbed in New Orleans, or about what time? If it was daytime, nighttime?
It was during the day.
During day, but not sure what time?
Not sure what time.
Okay.
And I know Saturday night he was definitely in Lafayette.
Out of curiosity, how do y'all know he was...
That's what Barbara had told, that she was texting him that night and he was in Lafayette. We've lost communication with Barbara because of the confrontation. She blew up, and I mean, It was before all of this. She was just upset that we were kind of digging into him. And,
even thinking the thought. I mean, that's understandable.
You have to understand she was married for 10 years with a guy, nice guy, but he just treated her like crap, And from her standpoint, she's going to defend him. She's just blind, completely blind right now. And he's telling her one thing and doing another, and that's her standpoint. Now, anything that she says is going to be for the benefit of him. We don't think she's trying to cover for him or anything. I think that's what she's being told.
Right. Has there been any time prior to this that he's given any reason or cause to think that anything might have been up with him?
Yes. Comments, weird stares. He's made comments about the little girl. One time she was in the pool and she was naked in the pool, and he said, "Oh, look, she's starting young," and like that. He's
kind of vulgar stuff.
Just weird stuff. I know he was getting changed one night in the utility room, and Michaela walked in on him, and he just stood there and he was like, "Well, you gonna take a picture or what?"
With his penis exposed or underwear or whatever he was in.
Yeah, he was butt naked. This was all around, the same time that we started Googling him, and his behavior. In the beginning, he was a great guy. There was nothing. Like I said, he was flawless. And towards this, it's become one thing after another after another. It's just crazy stories about this being stolen, and I just bought this piece of land, and that's another thing I wanted to run by you guys. He's got, I think to our knowledge, maybe 3 or 4 properties. The one he calls his home address. Up until lately, there was just a mailbox on that property. That's the one where he's registered under the sex offender website. Now, if you looked it up on Google Maps, I think it's just a field. I know he just put a trailer on that, but he's never there. His behavior was always very polite, very talkative, man, always talking about work and just hobbies and stuff. And since then, we haven't seen him since the confrontation with Barbara. But before then, it was just quiet, very reserved. You could tell gears were moving in his head, and he just, something was weird. Something was up. The comments that he was starting to make, and I don't know. It freaked us out.
What does he do for a living?
Offshore. I think he's a diesel mechanic offshore.
Okay. You mentioned these hobbies. What kind of hobbies did he talk about? I know maybe I'm asking you to.
He loves mechanic stuff. Loves working on cars and sports. He's a big Saints fan, and that's pretty much all he really talked about: cars, sports, and work.
Any like hunting, fishing?
Hunting, yes. Never fishing.
I appreciate both of you. Having enough concern. We all do. Having enough concern to bring this, suspicions, concerns, or whatever to our attention. He had both trucks. The truck he was trading in and the truck he bought from that place at the house.
No, I know he definitely did not get a truck stolen.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from. That's just way out of left field.
And how do you know that?
Well, because my father-in-law has been telling me every day his truck's parked at Barbara's house. So now he may
Which
have...
truck? Is that the old truck or the new truck?
We don't know, because from the outside they are identical.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which is weird. He just bought that truck in September. I want to help. If he is the guy and he gets caught.
Well, the other side of it too, if he's not the guy, then at least now you know.
At least now we know, exactly.
And maybe there is a legitimate reason for all of his excuses or what. It could be something as simple as he's got somebody on the side.
Right. Could be.
It could be. And hopefully in a couple of days, they'll be able to call you back and say, okay, here's what might have happened, or here's what we know so far, and maybe put you all at ease to some degree.
That'd be a big help.
On June 12th, investigators provided a representative from Chevrolet with images of the suspect vehicle. He indicated that the truck was a 2010 or 2011 white Chevy Silverado Z71. On June 14th, detectives obtained additional information regarding Brandon's truck. Brandon had made a claim with State Farm Insurance, indicating that someone had stolen his 2011 Chevrolet Silverado Z71 from his sister's residence in Texas. The vehicle was recovered hours later, burned in a rural area. State Farm provided detectives with photos of the burned truck and informed them that Brandon received an insurance payout. The law enforcement agency that dealt with Brandon's burned vehicle noted that to accelerate the fire, tires were placed on the inside and outside of the vehicle, and the doors were left open. After receiving the license plate of Brandon's burned truck, investigators searched the local license plate readers and were able to locate an image of the vehicle. The truck had a metal post and a white ice chest in its bed. They compared the image to the footage of the suspect truck, and the items in the bed matched. On June 22nd, investigators obtained the medical records regarding the alleged stabbing of Brandon. The records indicated that medical staff postponed a surgery due to Brandon having poison ivy on his arms and legs. In reviewing Brandon's phone records, they uncovered a call made to a mobile home builder. Investigators contacted the home builder for any documents related to Brandon. When purchasing a mobile home, he purposefully obscured the sex offender label on his driver's license. On July 5, 2012, police arrested Brandon on a warrant for modifying his driver's license. Both Brandon and his girlfriend Barbara were transported to the Lafayette Police Department.
Well, I know there was a little bit commotion over there and it made you nervous.
Yes.
I did introduce myself, and I am Detective Katie Morrell with Louisiana State Police Detectives, okay? And I want to talk to you about Brandon. You've identified him as your boyfriend, correct?
Yes.
Before we question anybody, we advise them of their rights. Like I told you, you're not in any trouble, but we always advise everybody of their rights. And how old are you, baby?
35.
And what's the highest grade you completed in school?
I went 3 years in college.
3 years in college. You were right there.
Right there, I know, right?
What did you go for?
I was a dance major, performing arts.
Really? Fantastic.
I was a ballerina all my life.
There you go. And this is your Miranda rights, a statement of rights. Before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything you say can be used against you in court or other proceedings. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before questioning, and you have the right to have a lawyer present during questioning. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to a lawyer's advice and the presence of a lawyer, even if you cannot afford to hire one. In such a case, a lawyer can be appointed to represent you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to answer questions without a lawyer present, you still have the right to stop answering questions at any time. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay, are you willing to talk to me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are
I'm
you willing to
curious
answer
to know
questions?
what's going on.
Okay. Have any threats or promises been made to you, or has any pressure of any kind been used to get you to answer questions or give up any of your rights?
No, ma'am.
I know you're a little nervous and you want to know what this is all about, but basically we just want to know about Brandon. We have
Okay.
some questions about Brandon, and I know along the way you were talking and you said, as of last week you're engaged, a beautiful ring.
Yes, ma'am.
You said you've been knowing him about, what, a year?
About a year. We met, guess that was around May. End of
Okay.
May, beginning of June of last year.
And tell me again how you met him?
Online.
Online.
One of those dating sites.
Dating sites.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And what is it that you know about Brandon? Tell me a little bit about him.
He did tell me, first time I met him in person, that he had served time for 8 years and he told me his offense was aggravated oral battery.
Okay.
He told me all that up front.
Okay.
He said he wanted me to know he knew I had kids out of respect if I wanted to pursue it, so I heard him out. That's what he told me as far as that goes. So
Okay.
I continued to, I gave him a chance and we just kept talking from there.
Yeah. Did he ever detail as far as how that incident came down, that he was charged with that? Did he ever tell you anything about that?
No, the only thing he made real clear to me was that, because he sees a registered sex offender,
Mhm.
and he said, I know that people think pedophiles or things like that when they see that, and he said it had nothing to do with kids,
Okay.
He just wanted me to be clear on that. As far as details, basic, he told me it was 13 years ago,
Right.
so that's all he said.
Did he ever say if he had admitted to that, or
Mm-mm.
he never talked about that?
No, he just said he told me 8 years for it.
And when you met him in person, what type of person was he?
Sweet, lovable, fun. We went to Mr. Gaddy's and we had a good time. He was very, very friendly.
Yeah.
Easy to talk to, easy to get along with.
Okay. how long was it after that point that the relationship progressed? Like, when did y'all become intimate? When you knew it was going to be a relationship?
I'd probably say a good 6-7 months into it.
Okay.
Before I really knew.
Right.
As far as me. Now him, I don't know.
Right.
As far as intimacy goes, have been withholding from that.
Okay.
Trying to wait until we were married.
Okay.
I mean, we have been intimate in the
Okay.
past, but we're trying to abstain from that.
Okay. All right. Well, the time or two or whatever that y'all
Mhm.
were, or as close as you got to it,
Mhm.
what kind of person is he in that situation? Is he?
He was great. I mean, as personal as those things can get.
Right. Now,
No,
you know,
I mean, he was.
I know it's awkward questions, but
It is very awkward, but I mean, he was compassionate. He was.
yeah, guys do a lot of things. Sometimes they're real compassionate. Sometimes they just want to get it over with. Sometimes it's quick. Sometimes it's rough. I mean,
He's never been real quick. He's never been rough. Nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Did he ever ask you to do anything that you really didn't want to do?
Never.
Like sex-wise, I'm talking about.
No, not at all.
He never.
No, he even asked me. I mean, even before we had sex, said, "Are you sure you're comfortable with this?" I have never felt uncomfortable.
Okay.
Not one time.
I think you told me y'all set a date, or you think?
Well, we're thinking about the first week of September.
Okay.
Is what we were thinking of.
Okay.
We were trying to do it when he's not offshore and he's home. So.
You had just gone on a weekend trip with your mom, sister, and your 2 kids, right?
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
To New Orleans, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said they are aware of the engagement.
They are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what was their reaction?
They were happy.
Yeah.
They were happy.
Yeah.
They know of his past as well. So
Okay. So he didn't try and hide it from anybody.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. What about
my ex-husband knows.
Okay.
I told, just out of respect for my children, I wanted to be upfront with everybody.
You explained that it had nothing to do with children. It was
Right. Well, and I would have. I mean, my kids. My goodness, I would have never. He showed me some of his paperwork from years back. So I know that didn't have to do with children.
Okay.
So that gave me a comfort there. And
was that some, like court papers you mean?
I don't know exactly what it was, but it just showed. It was back, like I said, 13, 14 years ago.
Okay.
And he was like, I want you to trust me. I know you have children. I want you to believe me. And so he said, I can understand how it would look and people would perceive it without knowing.
Right.
They see how good he is to me, and they see how, even my family said he's great with the kids.
How do kids feel about him?
My son was jumping up and down. He was very excited.
Yeah.
He said, well, good, does that mean we get to live with Brandon when he's not working? So.
If I remember correctly, you said you had a little boy 6 years old, and you have a little girl 4, and they both like him.
Mm-hmm.
So
they
you never
ask
have any
for him
problems
when
there.
he's not around.
And where does he work? What does he do?
He works, he's a mechanic offshore.
Okay.
I don't know too much about all those oil field companies,
Okay.
but he works 14 and 14.
A set schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is he out or in right now?
He just came in today.
Just came in. Okay.
Yes,
Have you
ma'am.
seen him yet?
No.
Okay.
That's why I was cooking and everything for him.
Oh, you were.
Yeah.
That was his house.
Right.
And you were cooking supper for him and getting everything ready. Okay.
I have nothing but great things to say about him.
Yeah.
Like I said, in the year I've known him, he's been amazing to me.
Yeah. Is there any time that he kind of goes off by himself when he's in from offshore? In other words, is he with you the whole 14 days?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Y'all stay at his place or your place?
Both.
Yeah.
Depends. I don't like since we're not married yet, I don't like my kids. I don't want to sleeping over there until we're actually.
Right.
I'm kind of funny about that. So he'll come, usually when I have my kids, he'll come to my house and we'll visit.
And then usually about what time he leaves?
Usually between 10 and midnight. I mean, I knew of his past, and I mean, as far as all of that, and I made my decision to continue dating him.
Mm-hmm.
After he told me that, when I saw everybody drive up, I was nervous. Is there something I don't know what's going on?
Yeah.
We watch movies, that kind of stuff. We'll go eat out,
Yeah.
just hang around.
Did he ever talk about any past girlfriends or anything? Does he have any past girlfriends? That
He's told me about a few, and then I pick at him. I'm like, okay, but the past is the past. I don't need to know all of that.
But I mean, nothing that would stand out. I mean,
nothing.
No. Have you ever seen him angry at all?
No.
Maybe not necessarily at you, but I'm talking about like maybe with work or with.
Well, yeah. We'll talk, both of us. Just frustrated, but nothing. I wouldn't even call it angry. When I think of the temper I dealt with my ex-husband, I mean, nothing on that level. Nothing.
Okay. Just on a daily basis. Did he ever get angry? ever push you or hit you? Or
Never. Not one time.
you don't see that at all?
I don't. He's never showed that. I've never seen it. I don't even see that in him. I don't. He has been so gentle and kind and compassionate. He's amazing. He's adopted, so he's got a
Oh, is he?
Yes, his
Yeah.
biological dad is dead, and his
Okay.
mom is, I think, in Arizona somewhere. They don't have a relationship.
Okay.
As far as this is just what he's told me.
Do you know where you bought your ring?
Zales.
At Zales?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a pretty ring.
Thank you.
Other than the ring for being engaged, did he ever buy you any gifts?
He did.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a couple of necklaces. I have another ring, some earrings.
Sounds kind of like in just a year. What, a year? What you
I
said?
know.
A year and a half?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm spoiled.
a year and a half time?
Well,
Is
we
that-
met last May.
Yeah.
Last May, because about
Yeah,
not a year and a half. A little
Well,
over a
14
year.
months?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's giving you several gifts. I'm just concerned a little bit because I'm not sure you know Brandon as well as you think you know.
Okay.
Okay?
I'd like to.
You,
So
you'd like to?
if there's something I don't know, I need to know, especially.
What kind of vehicle does Brandon drive?
His white truck.
It's a white truck.
Chevy
White truck.
truck.
Is that what he's had since he's known you?
No. He got it. He's had, what was the first truck he had? It was like a green Chevy, like a forest green
Truck?
pickup.
Yeah. How did it come about that he had a white truck? So did he?
He just went
Traded
and bought
it?
him. Traded it.
He traded it in? Okay. And
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
remember about how long ago that was?
I really don't. If I'd say 5 or 6 months, I'm guessing.
Really?
I think somewhere around there.
So as far as you know, he had a green truck, then he had a white one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And he hasn't had any other vehicles since then?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I mean, he has those cars at his house, that he buys
Right,
and he's
right.
going to fix up.
Yeah, because he's a mechanic,
Right, right.
That makes sense to me. Is he offshore for 14 days at a time? Or are you certain that he's offshore for 14 days at a time? I mean, when he comes in, are you so sure that he's texting his sister and not someone else? I mean, do you know that one way or the other?
Well, that's what he's telling me, and I trust him. You
Okay.
know, that's all I can say as far as that goes.
Okay.
If there is evidence to prove something else, then I'd have no choice but to
Okay.
believe that.
Let me take a break just a second, talk to Christy, and I'll be right back, okay? And she said if there's anything about Brandon that she needs to know, she'd like to know now.
Well,
Yeah.
well, Barbara, I'm a brutally honest person, okay?
Please.
Brandon is under arrest for first-degree murder.
What?
Yes. Brandon is responsible for the abduction and murder of Mickey Shunick.
What?
Listen to me. That's a bold statement for me to make,
Oh
Okay.
my God.
okay? So when I tell you this,
Oh my God.
and I know this is devastating, okay? But listen to me.
Oh my God.
Take a second to bring it in. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's a fact. It's beyond a reasonable doubt, okay? This is not, hey, we're guessing, we're shooting this out or anything. However long you've been here is how long I've been talking to Brandon. So I just left speaking to him, okay? Take a deep breath. I know this is not undermining how difficult this is, okay?
I just feel so stupid.
Listen.
Don't feel
Stop right here, okay? Listen to me.
Oh my God.
Right, listen to me. I need to ask some questions, okay? First of all, I'm going to be brutally honest. Do you find this shocking, or
Yes.
does this fill in any pieces for you?
No.
Okay.
Like I was telling you, he has been amazing
Okay.
to me. Wow.
And listen to me.
Oh my God.
Don't beat yourself up on that, okay? He is, as you know, he's a convicted sex offender. I don't think you know the type of convicted sex offender. I don't think you know the true story of the sex offense, okay? But his is of the nature where his is similar to every other sociopath, okay? He's what's called a power rapist, okay? And I'd be willing to bet he's never laid a hand on you, okay? But that's how they operate, okay? He is, without a reasonable doubt, the man who kidnapped and murdered Mickey Shunick.
Y'all have proof?
We do, okay?
Oh my God.
Do you? I know. I would not walk in here and tell you this if I did. Okay. Okay. Listen to me.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath because you asked me for proof, okay? It's hard for you to believe because you think you know him real well.
I would never
Okay.
be associated with someone.
But we know that.
Oh my
Listen.
God.
Listen
No,
to me.
listen. Take a deep breath. You want to hear the facts, right?
Yes.
Oh,
What's the proof?
Okay. Listen.
Give us a minute, okay? Now, I'm going to be brutally honest with you,
Oh my
okay?
God.
Listen to me. I cannot lay out 100% of it, okay? Not at this point, okay?
Oh my God.
But, okay. Let me just tell you let's go over several things, okay? And I'm going to paint a picture for you. On May 19th, okay, at 1:47 a.m., Mickey Shunick is riding her bicycle on St. Landry.
I've been praying for that little girl.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Brandon passes her up, or comes up to her, slows down next to her, okay? We know for a fact that her abduction was between 1:47 and 1:50. There's a 3-minute window, okay? The truck is Brandon's, without a doubt, okay? We have no doubt there. I want you to think back to that day. Brandon told you he was going to work in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay, he was not. Okay, Brandon was not scheduled to work. It's confirmed by his employer. The only time Brandon ever went to work is when Brandon went offshore. Okay, Brandon has never gone to work in the shop for a day or two. Okay, Brandon's story is he went down there to hang out with friends. He then alleges at 3 o'clock that he was approached by a male with a knife, or a male subject approached him at a gas station in New Orleans and said, "Give me some money."
3 o'clock during the
In
day.
the afternoon.
Okay, that's what he told me. I'm
Yeah,
just
right.
wondering what
Okay.
are lies now.
Okay, well, it's all lies. I'm gonna lay it out for you.
Yeah.
And that the male subject stabbed him 9 times. That is incorrect.
Oh my God. Oh.
Okay.
That is what he told you, right?
Yes, that's what he told me.
Okay.
I believed him.
Okay. And look, Barbara, the most important thing right now is you do not beat yourself up on this.
My children. My
Well, hey, I would bet my house he has never harmed your children.
No,
Okay.
he's been so good to
So
me.
relax, okay?
Oh my God.
Listen, this sucks. I know this is terrible, and this is gonna be a really, really bad day. But I'm telling you, it's better than it could be in the future. Okay? His wounds are wounds he suffered while he was assaulting Mickey Shunick. She fought her back.
With a knife? She had a knife.
No, we don't believe she had a knife. We believe she was able to get a knife from him. Okay? In the
Oh my God.
his wounds, when he was treated for supposedly just being stabbed 30 minutes before, his wounds are several hours old, as documented by a ton of doctors and medical professionals. You get stabbed 9 times and 30 minutes later you walk into the hospital, you're still going to be bleeding. Did he tell you he traded his truck in?
Yes, that was, he was,
The green one, but did he tell you he
But the
traded
what?
the white one in?
well, he was mentioning that he needed to, something was wrong with the
Okay,
transmission
you
or
understand
something.
that the truck he's driving for the last 4 weeks, it's not the same truck he was driving 6 weeks ago.
Right,
Okay, and what did he tell you about the change of that truck?
That it was giving him trouble, so he just made a trade in.
Okay.
Like an idiot.
Memorial Day,
Everything.
May 30th, at 6:16 p.m., he passes Lake Charles, Louisiana. He goes to his sister's house north of Conroe, Texas.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Shortly after midnight, he drives a truck into the middle of nowhere, sets it on fire. His sister admits to picking him up and bringing him back. The reason he burned his truck is because 4 days before that, he, on his 11-month-old truck, had called the Chevrolet dealership. He needed a quote on what it would cost to replace all the seats in the interior of his vehicle. You need to understand, we are being 100% honest with you, okay? You need to understand, he did this, okay?
Are y'all sure?
Babe, look, trust me. Do you think this is the highest profile case we would not...
I even told him time and time again, I was praying for her and I felt for her family. He used me.
Okay,
Oh my God.
Barbara, you gotta quit beating yourself up.
He
Look,
used me.
I know that. But listen to me. It's not that you're any more susceptible than anybody else. It pains me to say this. He's good at it. That's what he does. He is a sociopath.
I believed him.
He's a manipulator, okay?
Wow.
Now listen, the trooper has some questions for you. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Your father, he knew you were here, okay? He has concerns about you. He's asking to speak to a supervisor. So I need to go downstairs before he has a heart attack, okay? And assure him that you're okay, Okay?
Nobody's gonna take my kids away from me.
No
are
way.
they?
No,
Because of this.
Barbara, listen to me.
I'm just panicking.
But you did nothing wrong.
No, I didn't.
Right. But that's what everybody else. No, we're not asking you.
I don't want somebody to say,
This
well,
has-
you had him around.
This has no effect on that. Okay? Okay? Barbara.
Can I see him just to tell him?
Brandon?
Can I?
And you don't want to do that. It's done. Okay?
No, I want him to see my face.
Not right now. Okay? I'm never going to lie to you. I can tell you flat out right now, you're not seeing him today. We take no pleasure in putting you through this. But you also have to understand, we have a tremendous responsibility to the family of Mickey Shunick.
Absolutely.
We need your help in locking this down. Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to speak to your father. Okay? I'll be back shortly. Okay?
Take a minute. Take a minute.
How could he do this to me?
Well, when you said you were praying for Mickey Shunick's family,
Yes.
for her and her family,
You know, I've been asking God lately that if this marriage wasn't meant to be, to let something come up, to let me know.
this is not what you had in mind. Okay. Did he ever comment, just out of curiosity, did he ever comment when you said about Mickey Shunick? Did he ever say?
No, he showed sympathy like me.
You asked me a question a while ago, and we're trying to answer all your questions.
No, I want to know the truth.
Okay, but you also wanted proof, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There are some things we can show you and some things we can't right now. All right. But when you said he was with you all of the time
Oh my God.
and devoted all of his time to you, this is phone records and text messages. I want you to see this, okay? Is this his phone number?
Yes.
Okay. These are the numbers he's calling. This is just a very few because it's a whole list. Watch. Okay? Look what he's calling.
Oh my God.
All right?
Oh my God.
Listen. Barbara, listen, we're not doing this to hurt you, okay? You asked for proof, and I'm trying to show you that Brandon is not the person you thought he was. Brandon is not the person you thought he was.
How could I thought I was a smart individual? How could I be so stupid?
Because you're not the first person. Brandon has done this for a very long time. He's very good at it. He's very good at it. This is just one of many things, one of many proofs. Do you remember where you were or where he was, or where did he tell you he was the night that she came up missing? The next day there's a news broadcast.
Yeah.
She's missing. Do you remember if he was with you or not with you?
Oh my God, I'm trying to think. I do remember that he was at my house that night,
Okay.
but he left.
Okay.
He was gone before midnight. And I talked to him the next day, yes.
She comes up missing the 19th.
Oh my God.
Look at this. Look at this. This is the early morning of the 19th at 12:11 a.m. This is right after midnight.
Oh
She
my
comes up
God.
missing like an hour and something later.
So he's calling escort service.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
He calls
I feel
many,
like I'm
many,
gonna
many escort services.
Oh my God.
There's other things. Okay.
Please tell me.
Well, number one, he told you he traded in his truck and he actually burned it.
Oh my God.
He didn't just come in here and say this stuff. You know, I don't know how much TV you watch, but that's not us. We have proof of everything. We would never accuse someone of first-degree murder and not have enough proof.
Oh my God. Every time I watch this on the news and I pray, but he sat there and prayed for me. Oh my God.
So now that you know this about him, everything, pretty much everything he probably told you is lies. Okay? So now you need to help us put this case together. Think back on what it is, you know, what did he say? What did he do? What did he do different? Now that you know the situation, what is it that you know that can help us?
I am racking my brain, honest to God. He must be a master manipulator because I had no signs, nothing. He had been telling me, I'm going to trade my truck in, I'm going to trade it in. When he got back, he said, oh, I got my new truck. He was talking about the insurance money, insurance check, all this, pay for the wedding, all this stuff. And I said, well, wait, your truck. And I'm thinking about this because this was that lie. That when I was telling you we were arguing, that last argument, and I said, and I caught him in a lie, and I was like, why would you lie about that if you didn't do anything wrong? And I said, well, they just gave you a trade-in on your truck? He got real quiet. We were watching TV. And I said, Brandon, you know, like me, I'm honest. If you have nothing to hide, you can just talk. What's going on? He said, something happened to it at Brooks. I was like, what are you talking about? You told me you had a trade-in. He was like, no, something happened. He was like, look, Barbara, just let it go. That's behind us. Don't worry about it. I said, no, now I'm finding out you're not telling me the truth. What's going on? And so I got mad. Well, I didn't talk to him for a while. And he's like, okay, well, come sit down. I'll tell you. He said, I just didn't want you to worry. I sit down, and I'm mad because I caught him in a lie. He said it was stolen. My truck was stolen. I said, why wouldn't you just tell me up front that your truck was stolen and it wasn't traded in? Why would you lie about that if there's nothing? If it's stolen, it's stolen. You're a victim then. There's nothing to hide. Unbelievable. No wonder. Unfreaking believable.
Well,
Unbelievable.
and we said we'd be honest with you. He did report the truck stolen. But it was recovered burned, and his sister has just admitted to picking him up at the burn site.
Oh, my God.
Are you convinced?
Absolutely. I mean,
And what does this do for your relationship?
I'm just heartbroken because I wanted to have a life with somebody, and I just feel so stupid.
Don't be.
Because I was heartbroken and I want to be.
Right.
I'm a
right,
good person and I deserve a good life.
Right. Wouldn't you rather find out now than later?
Absolutely. God answered my prayers. He did.
Did you not ask him to show you a sign? Okay.
You know, because after he lied to me about that, I said something didn't sit right with me.
Just like you remember the incident about him lying about going to Texas and about something happening to the truck, I want you to seriously think about anything in reference to the Mickey Shunick case, maybe that night, him calling, texting, making an excuse, anything like that. I want you to try and think back, okay?
I'll do my best.
And I'll step back in just a second, all right?
Is somebody from my family here?
Yeah, I think your father.
Oh, God.
Do you need to see somebody? Okay, let me check and see. I won't make that promise, but let me check and see, okay?
He would cry to me and say, I deserve a second chance. And I was like, you do. Like, I have compassion for people.
What was he referring to, from the sex offense
To the
charge?
sex offense. And I felt for him. I really did. I believe that if that was something that was that long ago, you know, I believe that, you know, your sins are behind you. You shouldn't have to. I agree with that. You know, but he knew, he played my faith. He did. He knew how I felt. Can you just give me one more, please? Please.
One more proof?
Yes, ma'am.
This ring he purchased at Zales?
Yes, ma'am.
He was purchasing it for you, right? He was going to pledge the rest of his life to you?
Yes, ma'am.
He's flirting with the girl who's selling him the ring, and he exchanges phone numbers with her.
Well, he told me he was hooking up, giving a number, his brother's number, to the girl.
In the visual, that's not the case. It's very, very, very obvious that he wanted to maybe have contact with her at a later date.
Well, of course. You pick him up between a hooker. Oh my God. I have a decent God.
Well,
Are they out there?
oh, I'm sure they are, but just thank God you found out about this one now. As much hurt as it is, you're going to be very grateful at some point.
I was cooking for him like 2 hours ago.
The fire is off, right?
I didn't turn it off when I left.
Well, I'm sure they'll check. I'm sure they'll check the house.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You hear me? It's okay.
Stupid get out of me.
Walk, don't beat yourself up.
How can I not do
We're here for you. Walk
Oh, I was a perfect target.
Exactly. So it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It can happen to any of us.
I was about to marry a murderer. How am I? I can't even breathe.
And you know what? You had no way of knowing, boy. This guy walks in and caters to you and does. He had 8 years to figure out what he was going to do when he got out. How he was going to do it. I looked for somebody with young kids. That's what the detective was telling me. These guys look for a newly divorced woman, single woman with kids. And what they do is they go and they make themselves where the kids love them. And that sucks in the mama. Sucks them in. And does what Brent wasn't doing or the woman's ex wasn't doing. Does it and he's got you hook, line, and sinker. But that can happen to any of us. That can happen to any of us.
Either they're really wrong, or he's really that good. When I think of all the times that came on the news, he was sitting right by me.
Really?
And I was like, God, I feel so bad for her family, because I was like, no, it doesn't look good. He was like, no, it doesn't. He was like, well, we just have to pray for him.
Wow. You were a victim, baby. You were a victim to one of the smartest con people that apparently that there is, that I've never heard of. Wow. I'm like, oh my gosh. He put this guy away. I asked the guy, I said, how long? He said, Mr. Falk, you and I will both be in the grave. He's not getting out. Apparently, Barbara, they have stuff, not just, stuff that, he said, we have a page on this guy. I don't know what he meant by that, but I asked him, is he going to be able to post bail? So, first degree murder, you cannot. So there's no way. He's going to jail. He said, he ain't getting out. He's done.
I was cooking roast for us for when he got home, and then like 15 cop cars drive up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
We got to get Mickey home to her family. We have to find that child. So,
like I said, I know he was at my house that night.
Right.
But when he said he was leaving, he left. He left about 10 o'clock. And I can remember one point, I was laying on my bed, and I was just shaking my head. I was like, oh, that poor 22 years old. That poor girl. I was having dinner with the devil. Wow.
Could he look you in the eye when he would say stuff like that, or did you notice him just looking away?
No, he looked straight at me. Straight at me. This is what is so shocking. He looked at me, he held my hand and prayed, and wow. I feel like this is a nightmare.
Hunting knives or anything like that you can remember.
I know he had a knife in his truck.
What kind of knife do you remember?
Like just a little, a knife like this. He said he kept in his truck for, he said, self-defense.
Self-defense. Have you seen that knife in the truck since?
Mm-mm. I haven't looked for it, but I haven't seen it.
Where did he normally keep it in the truck?
Like in the, where he sits,
Mm-hmm.
in between the seat right there.
Like stuck
seat,
down?
right.
Yeah,
right.
Stuck down in the seat. Okay. What did you think when you saw the white truck on TV? They kept advertising. Somebody come forward.
I thought about it. It did go through my mind, but I just kept thinking, he was nothing but amazing to me. It's like, and I just kept thinking that I was at fault for even thinking something like that, because he's never shown me any kind of anger. I came out of a hard divorce, and I think that's what he preyed on. He knew I had been abused, I'd been hurt.
And you know what, people like that, people
wow.
like Brandon do stuff like that. I mean, they pray, they feed off of it, they look for it.
Your dad's ready to go. The news media's outside. We're going to take y'all through the back way. You've been most helpful. Most helpful.
If there's anything else, please let me know. I
mean, may we still call you if we need to answer some questions?
Absolutely. Anything you need. Thank you.
As the detective mentioned, they were interviewing Brandon at the same time.
I'm just getting back from work, and I understand, if you don't ask me questions about this. I'm just getting back from work, if whatever warrants I got, man, I want to go ahead and bond out on, bro, because, like I said, I ain't been home in 2 weeks. I just want to get home.
You not nervous, are you?
No.
Not worried? You need to be, Brandon. There is a list of issues, okay, we need to address regarding the disappearance of Mickey Shunick. Before you say anything, you let me finish. Listen to me. Okay? It's to your benefit that I finish. I'm going to flat out tell you that beyond a reasonable doubt, you're responsible for her disappearance. Okay? Now, the hurdle we need to get over, and you've done a pretty good out, it would be very believable that you did not mean, or it was not your intent to kill her. And you have the best example in the world in the sense that your previous victim, you didn't kill.
Nah, if you're saying all that, dude, nah, bro. I want an attorney. Man, it's over with, nah.
Okay. Who's your attorney?
Huh?
Do you have an attorney?
No, nah, bro. That's dude. I didn't have nothing to do with that girl's freaking disappearance.
Okay, so you understand this, and don't say a word because you just said lawyer. So I don't want you to say a word.
Can I get a phone call?
As soon as he tells you what's going on, he'll be able to lay out exactly how you get your phone call.
All right. Can I get some more water?
Well, absolutely.
I appreciate it, man.
No problem. Anything else?
Nah, man, I just want to call my girl, man. Freaking, because I know she's freaking out right now. She's at my house.
Oh, she's at your house?
Yeah.
You sure?
Huh?
Sure.
What's that?
She's at your house.
I mean, that's what she told me.
Okay. Brandon?
Yeah.
My name's Detective Baja. I'm the lead detective in the missing person case, Mickey Shunick. I'm here to advise you that you're under arrest for first-degree murder and aggravated kidnapping in regards to that case.
What evidence?
I'd be glad to sit down and talk to you about everything that we have, but you've already asked for an attorney. Now it's your option if you want to recant that and choose to talk to me. I'll lay it all out for you. I'll be glad to do that.
I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say, dude, because I know I ain't did. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, God. What the is going on here?
In the following weeks, the district attorney's office approached the family about a deal. If the prosecution took the death penalty off the table, Brandon would tell detectives where Mickey was. The offer left no doubt that Mickey was deceased. Nancy immediately said, "I want the body found. I just want the body found." The family signed off on the deal, and Brandon sat down with detectives.
Well, I'm getting this over with. Again? So I'm getting this over with. Well, I know it's not easy, but I can understand what you mean too. Some finality. Yeah, everybody needs some closure, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. You're doing the right thing, that's what counts, so. Yeah, that's definitely doing it for myself, I'll tell you that. You ready to do this? Get over with.
You understand that I'm tape recording this, Brandon? I have your permission to do so, correct?
Yes.
First thing I'm going to do is advise you of your rights. Make sure you understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent, and if you use fake name, it will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present while you are being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights, not answer any questions or make any statements. You understand these rights that I've explained to you?
Yes.
Having these rights in mind, you wish to talk to us now.
Yes.
Okay, Brandon, the first thing, obviously this is regarding Michaela Shunick's investigation. The first thing that we want to do is show you a Google map, and we'd like you to point out where her remains are located.
Can you give me the general direction? Yeah, go up,
What parish are we in at first?
it'll be in Van Parish.
Is this place you're familiar with it? You know the address?
No, I don't know the address, I can pretty much explain it. So you go up at LA 13.
You want to take us there?
Right there. Okay. LA 10 right here.
Right.
Yeah, doing this more. Doing some more. It's gonna be.
Put it on satellite?
Yeah. It's a cemetery. Keep on. Small community cemetery. I say it's completely surrounded by trees. But it's gonna have a field adjacent to it. All the way back to the cemetery. It's all the way to the right corner. You have like some really, really old graves and stuff from probably 100 years ago or whatever. You go into the woods right there. You go maybe 75 feet into the woods and stuff, and she's buried right there.
How deep is she buried?
Not that deep. I mean, I was pretty badly injured, so I couldn't really dig that deep into the grave.
Is she completely covered?
Yeah. That's it right there.
This is it right here?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Her belongings, is that all buried with her?
Oh, I mean, she's fully clothed and stuff, you know.
Okay.
All clothes on and stuff. You know.
The backpack that she had?
No, I got rid of all that.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that here in a bit, but I'm going to step out just for a second, and I'm going to start.
Start the recovery or whatever.
Yeah, we're going to send somebody out there to see if they can find the location. You get the mound, or you had it pretty flat?
I had it pretty flat. I covered it with leaves everything's there. She's full of clothes. She hasn't been mutilated and all that.
Let's start from the beginning. I mean, I can tell you, I know you left Acadia Parish and you were driving in from Lafayette, or driving in on I-10 into Lafayette, and we can start there.
I left Barbara's house, and I was head home, and I was feeling really, it was one of those times where I was feeling really depressed and stuff, you know, it was like kind of, I don't know, I was driving around Lafayette, and I was, you know, I had a little bottle of Jack in the freaking truck and stuff, and I was sitting on that, and I don't remember exactly where I went, but I do remember I was going down to University, and I was like, man, it's like, you know, I remember thinking to myself, now I'm getting hungry. I was going to go to Waterbury on Ambassador. I was thinking at first going to Johnson Street and going that way, and when I'm going to St. Landry, it's not real clear to me and stuff, but I think I remember seeing it on a bike or something, but I'm not sure. And I was going down to St. Landry, and I was playing my phone. I was playing my phone the whole time, and I remember I seen something out the corner of my eye, and when I looked up, I mean, she was right there in my grill, and I slammed my brakes and I hit it, and I jumped out of my truck and she was cursing and stuff. She's like, you know, what the F, and I was like, you didn't see me? And it's like, nah, I'm sorry. I said, I didn't see you. I said, I was apologizing to her and stuff. I said, man, so look, I said, and I was worried because I was drinking stuff. I was a convicted felon and I had a gun in the truck. The only thing I was worried about, I wasn't even worried about so much her hitting her. I was worried more about, getting caught with that gun, I was thinking to myself, oh man, that's freaking 10 years in prison if I get caught with that and this and that and this and that. So I was like, man, so you gonna call the cops and stuff? And she said, and she indicated to me, I don't remember how she said it. She said, basically she had some drugs on or something like that. And I was like, and she's like, oh, and I was like, cool, I was leaving. I was like, man, so cool, you ain't gonna call the cops. She said, all right, cool. I said, man, so look, I'll take you home. And she said, well, I don't know about that and stuff. She said, because I don't know you. And I was like, man, so like, look, I said, I promise you everything's cool. I said, I'm gonna take you home. I said, it's not gonna be any problems. I said, she said, all right. So I put a bike in the back of my truck. She got in, and we started going down the road, and we started. She's like, well, how much you gonna give me for the bike? So I give you $100. She said, nah. She said, that's a $500 bike. Back tire is messed up. I said, I said, I'm not gonna give you $500 for that bike. So we started arguing back and forth, and I started getting mad. I guess she started getting spooked, and she realized I'd been drinking oil and stuff. I don't know, maybe she smelled it on my breath, or if it was in the vehicle, or she seen my bottle stuff that I had on my console and stuff. And she started freaking out. She was like, look, she said, I'm just, she was, you know what? She said, I'm gonna call the cops. And I was like, and I stopped the truck, and I was like, I said, just get the out. And I was like, and I said, she said, clear as day. She said, I still remember saying, she said, no. She said, all you can do is drive off and take my bike. She had me right, that's what I was planning on doing. If she would get out of the truck, I would take off on her. So she said, I'm calling cops. And I'm sitting there and stuff, and I'm panicking. I'm thinking about that freaking gun truck and stuff. I said, man, she reached down to grab that phone. And I panicked, and that's when I grabbed the knife, and I said, don't call the cops. I said, I ain't playing with you, so put down the phone. And she just kind of started, she's like staring at me. She was like, she made eye contact, and she was just staring at me. I said, and I realized, how bad it's up. I was like, man, I started apologizing. I was looking, I'm sorry. I said, I didn't mean to scare you. I said, I'll take you home. I said, look, I'll give you $500 for the bike. I said, look, I promise. I said, everything's gonna be all right. And I'll put down a knife on the console. And I said, look, I'm putting it down right here where you can see it. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I never should have did that. And she's like, and she didn't say anything. She kept on staring at me. I guess I turned my head. I was about to try to drive off, and that's when I guess she pulled out a can of mace. She maced me, and when she maced me and stuff, I grabbed her arm, trying to get the mace out of her hand, and I guess when she grabbed the knife, she started stabbing. And I just, I was just, I lost my mind and stuff. And I think I might have hit her or something like that and stuff, trying to get a knife from her. And I guess when I got my hand cut, trying to get the knife out of her hand. And I got the knife, and I started stabbing her. And I I'm trying to stab her. I'm guessing maybe 4 or 5 times, and I caught myself, and I said, what the, I was like, man, what the f is happening? And I was looking at her, she just standing, and she never said a word, she never made a sound, she never cried out, nothing. And she just like looking at me, I'm looking at her, I threw the knife down on the floorboard, and I was like, what the f is happening, girl? I said, I was gonna take you home, man. It's like, why'd you do that? And she never said a word, she was staring, and all of a sudden she just falls over. She falls, and she kind of like slides between the seat and the console of the truck. And I was like, oh, I was like, man, it's like, I'm sitting there, it's like, my very first thought was like, man, so I gotta get to the hospital. I started thinking to myself, man, if I go to the hospital, how the f am I supposed to explain this? And I reached over and I was like, man, I don't even know if she's freaking alive. When I reached over, and I don't know if it's just my adrenaline or whatever, I was shaking so bad, if it was the alcohol or just a combination of everything, and my face was burning from the mace. And I reached over and I tried to feel for a pulse on the neck, and I didn't feel anything. So I take off. I was panicking. I didn't know what to do and stuff. And I pulled the gun out from underneath the seat and stuff. And I was like, man, I'm just myself. I said, man, so I know I'm going to prison. I said, I can't do that again. I can't go to prison again. And I don't remember how I passed. I mean, I was like, I can't tell you how I got from point A to point B. I just don't remember. So I gotta get rid of it. I drove into a field. I was gonna take it out. I was used to put in the tree line with, so I could figure out what I was gonna do. And like I said, I was under the assumption the whole time she was already dead. I mean, she didn't move, she didn't make a sound, she didn't breathe, nothing. And like I said, I checked her before I left last year, and I didn't feel a pulse. I got over there into that field, and I stopped, and I was just sitting there. And I guess I don't know if she's conscious the whole time, or she's playing dead or what and stuff. She got a hold of the knife, because I mean, I forgot where the knife was even at. I threw it on the floor and stuff, and she was down there with it and stuff, and I guess she got a hold to it. And she popped up, and all of a sudden, just, I guess because she figured stuff, when the truck stopped and stuff was like, I was gonna do whatever to, I don't know. She popped up and stabbed me dead in my chest, and I was like, I don't know if I was more freaked out about her stabbing or that fact that she was still alive. I hollered out, and I shot. I shot one time, and with the gun, I jumped out of the truck, and I was hollering, and I was like, I stood out there and stuff, and I was shaking and stuff. I started throwing up, put her right here. So I didn't know what to do. I freaking drove to my house. When I got to my house, I got out of the truck and stuff. I took all my clothes off and stuff before I even went in the house, because I knew I was full of blood. I knew I had my blood on, her blood on, and stuff. Went in the house and I cleaned up, and I come back, and I was like, man, this can't be real. This can't be happening. And I walked outside, and I went look in the truck, and I was like, man, yeah, she's still freaking there. And I was like, man, so I can't believe this happened. And I walked in. I must have walked in and out of the house about 10 times. I'll go back out there, and I'll look, and I was like, man, oh my God. And I kept on thinking about that gun. That's when I finally put the gun in my head. I was like, man, so I'm just putting myself right here. And I was like, then I started thinking, like, man, so I got my son about to be born. I got a daughter. Hopefully I'm seeing stuff, in the future. Like, man, I can't do it. The whole time I wasn't thinking, I just freaking killed somebody. I was, that wasn't even my thought at the time. It was like, I was thinking it was all about me. It was all about, what I'm gonna lose, what's gonna happen to me and stuff. I wouldn't think about her. I wouldn't think about the family. I wouldn't think about myself. And then after that, that's when I said, man, so I can't put anyone around the house, because if I put anyone around here, so I'm gonna be a prime suspect off the bat. So it's like, what the hell can I put at? And that's when I thought about LA10. So I drove there, and I dropped off, and I brought a shovel with me. And I tried to bury it, but I couldn't even move my arms and stuff. I thought I had to rotate a couple times, so I couldn't even lift it up. So I pulled it out, and I dropped it off and stuff, and I put it in the tree line. And I tried to dig in the grave, but I couldn't use the arm. I only had one arm. So I covered up with some branches and stuff, because I didn't want the animals to get through. I got back in the truck, drove back to my house, cleaned up the truck as best I could. Barbara was supposed to be coming over that morning, to my house with the kids and stuff. I stopped a couple times on the way over there and threw up. I threw up at the cemetery. I just kept on, I was puking until I was dry heaving. I came back and stuff, and I called up this man, looked at, I said, don't come over there and stuff, I'm sick and stuff. I knew if I told her that, she wouldn't come, because she petrified of getting sick. She had this phobia of being sick, so I knew she wouldn't come over. I told her I was sick. And And I went back and I was like, I tried to clean the truck up as best I could. And I pulled everything out, like, any kind of papers, anything I could find that had blood on it, even looked like they had blood on it. Took everything out and I put it in trash bags. And then I drove, I don't know, it was probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. I took off towards New Orleans, Blackjack Casino, whatever it is, right off of LA 10. I pulled in right there. Finally, I guess I was coming down from the drilling, coming down from the alcohol and everything else, and I finally started selling out. So I pulled in that parking lot right there, and I went to sleep, and I probably slept about 30, 45 minutes right there in the parking lot. And then I pulled up to the gas pumps, and I started getting gas. And then I forgot about the bike. I didn't think about the bike. When I pumped my gas, I seen the bike right now. I thought, I gotta get that freaking bike. I thought, I can't go to New Orleans, go to the hospital and stuff, and have that bike in the back of my truck, Took off one day before Whiskey Bay, and had some people around and stuff, and it kind of spooked. So I got back on 10. I went down a little bit further and stuff, and I pulled off on Whiskey Bay. And I went down there and stuff, and I didn't have anybody around, so that's why I threw the bike in the water right there. And I got back on LA 10. I went to Greg's house. And at first I wasn't even sure if I was going to the hospital or not. He looked at me like, he said, you messed up, bro. He said, you got some bad injuries, right? So you need to go to the hospital. So we drove me to the hospital and stuff, and I didn't even want to call the cops, obviously, I didn't want to make any reports and stuff, but I knew the hospital would. And I was like, man, what the hell am I telling these people? It's like, what happened? And about a year ago, I had a guy that attempted to rob me. It wasn't in New Orleans, it was in Baton Rouge. It was in the middle of the night and stuff, and I never called the cops about it. I was at a gas pump by myself. It was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning, come walking and telling me stuff, and I took off running. And I guess he got spooked, he took off running too. So I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and tell him what happened right there, and just relate it like it just happened that day. So that way right there, I'm not going to, get confused, or, mess the story or anything like that, So I just told him what happened, but I told him what happened that day, what happened like a year ago, Everything was cool, but then when they went back and stuff, looked at the tapes of the gas station, stuff like, oh, we don't see you right there. It's like, I'm telling you, I was right there. Because I'd been at that gas station before, and I knew there was a blind spot in the video and stuff right there, that particular gas station anyway and stuff. And some man said, yeah, so I was there and stuff. I told him where I parked at and stuff, man, oh, we just don't see it and stuff. And some man said, look, I'm telling you, I'm not really sure exactly what gas station I was at, but I'm pretty sure it was that. So I'm about 9% sure it was that gas station. I'm not 100% sure. Stayed in the hospital overnight. Went back the next morning. Got my truck. Took off back to Lafayette. When I got back to Lafayette and stuff, I was like, man, it's like, I don't remember what I did that day. He just come back from me and stabbed and stuff, and she thinking I got a robbery and all that, so I'm pretty sure I went to the house, and I think I might have went to church. And then that night, that Sunday night, I went back, and that's when I buried her. I went back to the cemetery and stuff to bury her. And then that's pretty much it.
Where's the gun at now?
The gun, actually, I don't know exactly where the gun's at. It's I think it's in the Mississippi River in New Orleans. You gave it to somebody to get rid of it? I didn't give it to anybody. When I left the truck at Greg's house. When I got the truck the next day, the gun was gone. I didn't even ask him about it at first. 2 days later, I asked him about, where the gun was at and stuff, and he told me, he said, I don't know. He said, I don't know where it's at and stuff. And I said, well, if you took it, somebody else took it, I said, the gun's hot. If you got a gun, I said, you want to get cold. I'm telling you. He told me, he said, it's in Mississippi River. I said, sure. He said, well, I'm not 100% sure. He said, because he said, I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything with it. He said, but that's where it's at. All right. I was like, I would never talk about it again.
And the knife that was used?
The knife, I threw that in the dumpster.
What kind of knife was it?
It was like a little cable. Okay. Like a little combat knife. Okay.
You remember who you were calling or texting on that whole afternoon? I need you to be honest with us, because, there's a lot of things we know, obviously, that we didn't release, and video that we have that we didn't release. So we pretty much have a picture of a lot of it, so.
I think I might have been calling for escort service or something like that. I was looking for, I don't like having sex, per se with them, but I like doing like the erotic massages and stuff, and I think I was calling different ones to try to see, who's been doing erotic massage and stuff like that, I talked to several different ones and stuff, but I hadn't set up a date with none of them.
University, Cameron area is obviously notorious to find a prostitute or an escort.
I've picked up girls before, around there and stuff, or whatever,
Well, you can see from our standpoint, you made 24 or so calls to escort services within the time frame.
Well, I think with the reason why I made so many calls because I ran across a new website I'd never seen before called like the Back Pages or whatever. They had a whole bunch of listings and stuff. I was just going down, I was checking out the different girls and stuff, and I was like calling different girls and stuff and seeing, which I think a lot of they did call because a lot of girls didn't answer, when I called and stuff, they didn't answer and stuff. So I just, I remember like one girl I talked to, I probably called about 3 or 4 times a day or whatever.
That's Charlotte?
I don't remember her name. I guess about a week and a half after, y'all, I guess y'all talked to the guy in the white truck and the guy in the other white truck and the guy in the car and stuff. And y'all zoomed in on my truck and stuff. So, man, so I said, I gotta get rid of the truck, I drove to my sister's house. I said, my truck's involved in the shooting and stuff. I said, I gotta get rid of it. I can't hang on to the truck. I said, anywhere we can, go bring trucks and stuff. She said, she had like a father-in-law or whatever lives 30 miles from my house or whatever and stuff. She said, we can go over there and stuff. She brought me like this little road, but I didn't like the location. So I said, look, I said, you follow me around. I said, I'm gonna try to find a place. And we drove into, I found a little field and stuff. I drove in, I set the truck on fire and stuff, and I got back in the truck, went back to the house and told us, like, look, if they help me out, so you can follow her out,
No sexual act occurred, you didn't assault her in any way?
No, I mean, that's, y'all see that when y'all get about it. I mean, she's fully clothed, she's not sexual assault in any kind of way, shape, or form, that's, I mean, I know I had that sex offense, from years ago and stuff, that's not what I'm about. I'm not like that, I mean, I know, like I said, I had that offense from years ago and stuff, but that's, no.
When we find her, where were her stabbings?
Everything will be
in the chest, and the gunshot was
in the head.
In the head, the top of her head, or?
She was facing me in the truck like this, and I should just, so it would be somewhere like in the face or forehead area or somewhere in there, No way, shape, or form was this.
Was that the end game nearby?
No. My end game was get her home and get the hell out of there because like I said, I did not want to get caught with that gun. That was my primary thing was I don't want to go to, I had everything going for me. I had a great job, I had a house. I mean, I did a lot for myself in 4 years, And that's one of the reasons why I was like, I'm glad, I buried the body. I'm glad I didn't dismember it. I'm glad I didn't burn it. I'm glad I didn't do nothing like that too. I'm glad I didn't pull her clothes off or nothing like that. I'm glad I didn't do none of that because that'll show that she was not assaulted, you know what I'm saying? Spent like half the morning cleaning the truck up and stuff, and I had a bunch of like paper towels and things like that with blood on and stuff, and I didn't want to just throw that away. So I took that, I took the book bag, I pulled my carpet stuff out of my truck and all that because it was just a stench, it was like I couldn't get rid of the smell. And it was a combination of my blood, her blood, and everything else. So I just pulled my carpet out, and I piled everything up and stuff, kind of like along the tree line by Walker's house, and I burned it right there.
And the point of going out and buying the identical truck was to obviously mislead in the event that somebody tipped off that you had a white Z71 and we come to look at you and now you have one. Because it was identical, almost identical.
Yeah, now my big thing after the fact, after I bought the truck and stuff, I wasn't thinking about that when I bought the truck. My thing was that I love that truck. I worked so hard for that truck, and I saved my money and stuff for that truck. And that was the truck I always wanted. I didn't have to get rid of the truck when I chose to get rid of the truck and stuff. So man, I said I want the same truck. It was like that was my dream truck. That's the truck I always wanted. So I bought the truck, and then after the fact, it's like we said, I thought it's kind of good that I bought this truck because now nobody's asking questions about what happened to your truck. But that wasn't my primary concern at the time. My primary concern was me being selfish and just, I want back what I had before,
No one would say or said that she would get into anybody's vehicle. In fact, what they specifically said was if she saw somebody in distress, she would pick up a phone, call 911 and keep pedaling. She would see a dog that was hit, she would pick up a phone, call 911 and keep pedaling. That she would never get into somebody's truck. So for us, after hearing this for so long, and it's, I understand
what you're saying, but like I said, she was, when she was talking about, and I found some drugs and stuff in a purse when I went through it,
And we know she had marijuana. We know she had a one-hitter. I mean, that all came out, obviously.
I don't know, maybe she might have been intoxicated, I don't know and stuff, but like I said, it took me a few minutes to like talking and like I said, my primary concern, man, just don't call the cops, I guess I was able to persuade her, to let me give her a ride home, because at first she was saying, I think she said something about maybe want to call a taxi or something like that. I was like, no, I don't do that. So I said, look, let me pay for the bike, let me, take care of the bike and things like that,
And everything that you've said so far is for us, is right on and believable except for that point. I mean, that's what we find hard, or I find it at least hard. And it's understandable, obviously, that could have been a point where you freaked out and grabbed her and put her in without.
I was only worried about the gun. When I talked him to get into the truck and stuff, it was like a big relief. It was like, thank God, If she didn't sit on calling the cops right there, I wouldn't have grabbed. I would have freaking jumped my truck and took off. I'd have just shagged ass and got the hell out of there.
And the other part is she didn't try. I mean, she had her cell phone. She didn't try to call her friend. She had just left. Who was awake a mile or two down the road. That's the only part of everything that you're telling me that doesn't fit what we've been being told.
I can see where you're coming from. I can understand that, but like I said,
I think what Detective Otter is trying to, and I can appreciate where you're coming from too. You want to minimize everything you can, and I can understand, but that's a very small portion of this big picture, right? But whether you picked her up, threw her in the truck, whether she got in the truck, whether she was unconscious, doesn't really.
On the grand scale of things, I understand what you're saying. I didn't, like I said, I didn't force into the truck. Okay.
Shortly after the interview ended, police located Mickey's body. Charlie said that finding out how Mickey died was really bad, but at the same time, she kicked his ass. She fought back and she almost killed him. She did everything she could have done. Nancy said that she misses talking to Mickey. She always had something funny to say. Nancy noted that at the time she disappeared, she and her friends were in school, and now they all have jobs and families, while Mickey is forever 21. Detective Baja credited Mickey with solving her case, as without the injuries to Brandon, he would have never gone to New Orleans for treatment, and there wouldn't have been any evidence to burn in his truck. In a follow-up interview with Brandon, he admitted to the killing of 35-year-old Lisa Ann Pate in June 1999. Her remains were discovered in September 1999 in a grassy field of Church Point in Acadia Parish under 3 large wooden boards. Brandon said that he met her at a hotel in Lafayette where they spent several days together. When he caught her attempting to take his keys and wallet to leave, he restrained her, beat her, and smothered her with a plastic bag. Brandon then disposed of her body behind a former acquaintance's home. With his confessions and the agreement, Brandon pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder. The judge sentenced him to 2 life sentences for the murders of Mickey Shunick and Lisa Pate. For more videos of cases never seen on YouTube, click one of the videos on screen now or the links in the pinned comment. Goodbye for now.